Yeah, I'm thinking about one more story that really sort of was me as a Zen guy being a chaplain. So this is something that I hadn't been trained as a chaplain to do, but being a chaplain gave me permission to do. And this was a man on one of the regular wards who had been admitted following an unsuccessful suicide attempt, overdosing on I don't know what medications. And I walked into the room knowing that much about him, but really that's about it, and was just there to say, basically, how you doing? And before I would have done that, I would have introduced myself. I would have said, you know, my name's Gordon Green. I'm one of the chaplains here. I wanted to see how you're doing. And what he said is that, you know, I don't need no stinking priest. Like, yeah, you're right. But I didn't go anyplace. I just stood there. It's like, okay. And then the next thing after a pause was he said, well, I know what I did wrong, and I know what I need to do next time. You know, I got the dose wrong. And so I know how to talk to these people. I know how to play along, so I'll get discharged, and then I'm going to get it right. And you know, there's the sort of the surface impulses. Wow, no, you know, come on, you know, what do you got to live for? And how about this? And you know and you can see it in my face. You can hear it in my voice. It's like, don't do it, don't do it. But I didn't go there. And again, this was just completely, I guess, by intuition. And I said, you know, tell me what it's like being dead. And I guess what you have to, we don't have time to get into this. In Zen training, there's a certain phrase that translates this. You know, you're way more useful when you're dead than when you're not. But it's a question of what's actually dead. You know, basically you could say superficially it's the ego that's dead. So get rid of the ego and now something more creative can happen. But this idea of death in Buddhism is a big deal. So it was not sort of it wasn't an innocent question. It was an unconscious question, but it wasn't innocent. It was like, tell me what it's like being dead. And he did. That, you know, the overdose had been enough to, you know, knock him out. And if he hadn't gotten emergency care, he would have been dead. But the sensation, and again, I can only, there's no real reference points for this, but it was sort of like you and me sitting side by side. So there's this river, you know, let's get Greek mythological, and there's the river, whatever it is, Styx or something. And death is on that side, and life is on this side. And, you know, let's shout across, hey, you know, it's better over here. And instead, the sensation was like, no, we were both sitting side by side on the dead side of the river. And he just started talking, and he talked about kids, and he talked about the letters he had written to each of his kids, you know, in his suicide notes. And he talked about his clinical depression, because was what he was experiencing, and he had many, many years and many, many attempts at treatment and many, you know, times of coming out of it and then relapsing, and just the exhaustion that he had felt that said it's time to give that up. It's time to be dead. And we must have talked, I don't know, maybe an hour, maybe less. But I never left his side, sort of viscerally. And it wasn't like, well, now let's draw a conclusion. Now that you've told me this, this, and this, therefore, you've got this to live for, and maybe why don't we do this? And, you know, I'm going to talk to your psychiatrist and, you know, maybe your wife. And it's hard for me to justify that. I don't know whether that was wise or not. But I know that I have enough body sense that he knew I never left him. And I never tried to take him someplace he didn't want to go. That I was just there. And at a certain point, it seemed appropriate. Who knows how or why. It was like, you know, I hope you get some good sleep. I hope you are able to take care of yourself and your family. And left. My gut sense is that that was the best thing I could have done for him. Because he had heard, I mean, you know, this is a guy with a lifetime of clinical depression, and he'd heard every cajoling and every how about this and persuasion and why not this, and his, you know, he's got wife and kids, you know, who am I in the face of their need for him? You know, anything I was expressing as a need would have been sort of somewhat selfish. It's like, come on, you know, I want you to die after having seen me. It's like I lose points, you know, I lose chaplain points. That's a primitive way to express it, but, you know, whose need is being served? And my instinct was what he needed was somebody dead sitting beside him. And out of that, it created a freedom where he could decide, you know what? I'm having a conversation with this guy. Maybe this is okay, because I sure know when I'm dead, there isn't any more of this. So it's kind of like that med student that we started with, who said, you know, Dr. Green, I don't know what to do. You know, her ignorance was highly therapeutic. There's something in me that says my non-judgment about life or death was therapeutic. That's Zen Buddhism.